Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Living a Graceful Life. I'm Tracy Gelb, your host this evening, and I'm going to be talking about finding yourself again. So it sounds kind of interesting and a different topic, but this journey that I've been on, especially these last 2.5 years, has been literally, I feel like I've had a new birth, so to speak, a new awakening, a new life. But it's all been about consciousness. It's all been about learning why I started the behaviors that I've had in my life and getting to the point that I have now, at this age and stage in the game to be sitting here doing the show. And it's been a remarkable journey. But when I talk about finding yourself again, a lot of times, and this is me in particular, I went through my life, all my life, not really seeing myself. I didn't see myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't understand why I had the behaviors I had. I didn't know something didn't feel right. It really didn't feel right, but I didn't know how to stop it, how to change it. And in a lot of ways I didn't want to. So I think that I was actually going to do a different topic today. I was going to do um my I've had such a full day. I'm so sorry. It'll come to me. And I actually, what was interesting was, my topic was going to be how you do anything is how you do everything. And then funnily enough, in a video that I started watching, I just sometimes just watch videos randomly. I'll put in motivational or I'll just put the words in, self-healing, consciousness, evolving. And the one that came up was Find Yourself Again. And it was some of my absolute favorite mentors that I listened to. Oprah Winfrey. It was a compilation, Steve Harvey, Les Brown, listening to them, Jay Shetty. And then Les Brown quoted the comment where he said, how we do anything is how we do everything. And I think that that's really very powerful. But part of finding myself again is finding the things that I need, the behaviors that I need to have and understand. And I thought about one of the things that they said was no more excuses. So I think about discipline, and I think about discipline when it comes to people in my life, my friends, my mom, my students, my clients, just people on kind of on the outside and on the inside. And I think about how difficult discipline is. I had a really, really, really difficult day, really difficult. And when I say difficult, there was no train wreck, there was no health emergency. So in that capacity, it was glorious. But I had a few things happen. I'm planning on on a very much needed escape in about 10 days with my three closest girlfriends. And I found out that some of them can't come with me due to a holiday on that weekend. I'm still going to go even if it's by myself because I just need the time I need. But it kind of was a difficult thing to hear. Then I heard from my mom that there was something going on with her, which of course she's the most important person always and forever to me. And she, just having some personal struggles going on, nothing we can't handle, nothing we can't, use our beautiful braids to heal. But it gets me a little worried. And then I have a part of part of my story, and I always share this with everybody, is I was bulimic for, I would say 13 years, but it was like between 15 and 20, if I'm really going to be honest. And I'm trying to really be honest, which is part of finding myself and seeing myself, is being honest about that. So I have some damage in my teeth, in my top teeth, and I have been going to dentists now for the first time in many years and getting some work done. But now I'm going to be doing the top six. A dentist is very traumatic for me because of it, having things in my mouth. I think about the bulimia and also the fact that the eating disorder was such a big part of my life and it was so destructive to me in every way. So that with that being said, I got the quote from the dentist, and it was less than I thought it was going to be, which was wonderful. And we don't worry about the money. The money is can't take it with us. Gonna, use it while we're here to live our life and be charitable, and we're gonna take care of our health first and foremost. And that's, fortunately, we have credit cards for that. fortunately or unfortunately, but it works for us. So then I found out the news that I have to have a deep cleaning, which is something that terrifies me, but I understand why they're doing it. So that kind of threw my day for a loop. Spending the day getting some car repairs done, some driving, and leading to just a a rough feeling, a nervous feeling. I'm on a path of wellness where any anxiety or stress that I feel, and I do, I'm a human being, I look internally and I understand or try to understand why it's happening. And I go to the modalities of healing, such as meditation, prayer, going outside to ground, doing my Healy vibration machine, essential oils, all of these things, speaking to my mom, speaking to a friend, listening to my beautiful videos. Sometimes I'll listen to meditation in the morning. I'll wake up at like 4:15, 4:30, and it'll put me back to sleep, but I'll meditate for, I'll do 3 or 4 sessions of different guided meditations. I'll do that in the afternoon too if I'm starting to feel, some sort of thing creeping up. And one of the things about getting to know myself again, and I'm talking about myself here, but it can be painful. It can be some trauma will appear. I know inherently in my soul what kind of person I am and what kind of person I was and what kind of person I'm becoming. There was some years in there when the substance abuses and all of the relationships, horrible relationships, and people that came into my life that were so toxic, I changed. And I'm not blaming any of them. I'm completely blaming me, but the environment that I was around. When they say, look at the last 5 people that are on your phone that you've spoken to or had a connection with, and are those people that fuel you? Do they light your fire or do they put it out? And learning these things, it's difficult for me to put anybody to the side and to not be um empathetic, and but I also have to realize that these things in my life have not served me. So getting to know myself, when I think about discipline and I think about so many people that I come into, and I think we all have the discipline in us, every single one of us, every single human being. If one person did it, then we can do it. If one person stopped gambling, if one person lost 40 pounds, if one person is drinking less, stopped smoking, if one person stopped lying, if one person stopped being offended, if one person, all of these things. And these are qualities, not just the physical, but the emotional, the conscious, if there's something that I'm really, really, really trying to work on backbiting. It's something that I've always just kind of thought it was, nothing was really wrong with it. It was just kind of like, oh, I'm just kind of relaying stories, but not if they're stories that are not positive and that they're, you know, somewhat harming other people. I feel that I have always, or at least most of my adult life, told lies. I always thought it was to protect myself or to protect somebody else, and they were white lies. They were still lies and they were not white lies. So I'm working very hard. Sometimes it's even something where I have some friends that invited me. I got a group text today to go away to a concert in June, and it's in July, excuse me, and it sounds wonderful. I just know that I can't do that. I don't want to go drinking and getting crazy. And so at first I was thinking of things to tell them. I was going to say, my mom's away. I have to stay with the birds. And then I just said, listen, it's not the right time for me. I have some dental work coming up, and I'm just going to, focus on that and on healing. And they all were very supportive and wonderful. And I think sometimes on this journey, in a way, it's a little bit sometimes of a small self sabotage or of a small way of not really being as authentic as I need to be, because this is the time in my life. That's why it's inclusive of the teeth. That's something so crazy, but it's just a part of healing. It's a part of healing that I never would have done before. When the amount, and it's the double digits, well, it's 5 numbers, but I don't want to give a number amount of it's a hefty amount. But I think about when I was in my gambling career, which I ended 2.5 years ago. I would have spent that in 3 days at the casino. And this way, I'm going to have healthy top teeth where I can smile and really, really feel good. I look at pictures. I did some beautiful portraits of pictures of me when I was younger with this beautiful smile. And I think about what it's going to be like to have that smile again. And for no other reason, not for vanity or not, people that know me know that, but for me to feel good and for me to repair and to find myself again, to find, to feel good about smiling. I'm on this unbelievable today's day 28 of a food plan, but it's not a starvation and it's not just fasting and it's not just having, it's just watching my food, just being for the first time in my life, for the first time in my life, being comfortable to stop eating when I'm full, to not eat at night. Big, big, big thing for me. I might have a little bit of cherries or a little light snack, a couple nuts, but not sitting up for hours at night eating and eating and doing all of these things. I think it's because I am really getting back to who I was or who I need to be. And I think all of us, if we really take this journey, and it's a journey of self reflection, I have to look at myself. I think I got a little jumpy right before the show. And I think it's because of this topic being so close to home and really seeing myself for the first time in so many years and really understanding that a lot of things happen, but a lot of things happen to a lot of people. When I was talking to a very, very dear friend of mine and telling her about my teeth today and how nervous I was, and I have to do the deep cleaning, and she said, well, Tracy, I have two people that I know. One's having a heart transplant and the other one's having a kidney transplant. And she said, do you see what I'm saying? And I said, oh, yeah, I absolutely see what you're saying. I absolutely see what you're saying. And once we understand that and value that and look at the fact that we never know what's going on with somebody else, and it seems so like monumentous that this is happening and huge to me, but it really isn't. It's just correcting something that I should have corrected a long time ago, but having the courage now and the deep breaths. And I mean, I'm really learning about breathing. I've been watching different things on YouTube about, taking 30 breaths really fast and doing different types of, my mom teaches about the humming and the, different types of different modalities. I was just thinking I need to slow down and take a breath. Let's all take a breath together. Yeah, because I have a lot to say. And I usually do have a lot to say. And I have a lot to say because I have a lot of feelings that I have and a lot of things that I need to express because it's been such a interesting ride. It's been such an interesting ride. This has been the biggest gift that I could ever have is this time of healing that my mom and I have together. And that we have, even though it was 6 o'clock this morning, that we have the relationship where she can say to me, I need to come and I need to talk to you. I need to sit down. Of course, I got a knot in my stomach. But then when I realized what she was saying, we have a lot of healing that we're doing and that we still have yet to do. When people have huge amounts of trauma and big loss, like losing my sister and me with the situation that I had with a particular business, very traumatic way it closed, or the men that my mom and I have both had, and the betrayal from different people in our life, very, very, very close people that have really broken our hearts, and coming up from that and healing from that and doing it together. It's a blessing that I think a lot of people either maybe don't get the opportunity, or should I say don't take the opportunity. But I get that opportunity. My mom gets that opportunity. So we are being very self-reflective and really getting to know ourselves. We both say and are both working on behaviors that have not served us and have not made us get to the place that we really, really want to go. Our dream and our goal is to help people, is to really, really help people so that people feel comfortable to come to us and say, listen, I have this going on. And for us to genuinely be able to say, ah, yes, I had that too. I went through that too. And now I want to tell you what I did and what I learned and be able to share that and be able to do it in a way that's kind and empathetic and no judgment and not being offended and no backbiting and no lying and all of these things that we have to work on as human beings. And it's basically saying, we talk about in grief, there's 5 steps, but 5 steps of being a human being, I think is a lot of the same thing, is being in denial. We've been in denial. There's something called anger, being like, why did this happen to me? And how did this happen to me? And why is this happening? And, the different stages, and then kind of like the acceptance. Well, I have to change this. I struggle a lot with wanting to do things to please people. Um, I always refer to it because Oprah Winfrey declared it was the disease to please, which I've had in spades in my life. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble. And now I have to reverse that. So it is painful. It is painful. It is so hard to not have that pathway in my brain. But the gift of working with the brain and neuroplasticity is realizing that every single pathway can change. But the trick is we have to change it. I have to change it. I have to just say nope. I'm not doing this. I can't do this. I don't feel good doing this, and be okay with it, and know that the person that I'm saying it to loves me and cares about me and understands that it's not to harm them. It's only to help me. And I think that I wrote down a couple of notes, but I think that one of the goals that I have, and probably the main goal that I have right now, well, the main goal I have is to be healthy, to be mentally healthy and physically healthy. And I talk about 6 months ago, I had some severe, they call it sternum popping, and I did in, maybe it was 8 months ago, 9 months ago, I did intense research on it, and it comes from anxiety, it comes from stress. So I started on the journey of learning about it, doubling up on my Healy vibration, doing things. I would just go outside when something was stressful. I had a stressful phone conversation. I would just, or a class or a client or, anything with my mom or my friends, and just meditating and praying and walking down by the water and seeing the ducks and seeing the swans and seeing the squirrels and getting with nature and putting my feet in the grass and doing these things that I need to do, not getting a bottle of vodka, not going to a casino, not trying to find a man, but doing the things that are healing for me. I need to do that so I can be the best version of myself, and really be the best version of myself, and be the version of myself that I think I was, or not, that I know I was as a child. I was a happy child. I was a loving child. I was a grateful child. I loved my life. And then some things happened along the way that really kind of sucked the life out of me, sucked the childhood out of me, sucked the teenagehood out of me, sucked the adulthood out of me. And I'm regaining all of that. And it's been a very intense journey. I didn't really know. I knew the words consciousness. I knew the words evolving. I listened to Wayne Dyer all the time. He's the most conscious, evolved person I've ever listened to in my life, truthfully. I would listen to Eckhart Tolle. I would listen to different spiritual advisors. I would listen to Joe Dispenza, or I'd listen to, all of these different things, and compilations, and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I loved it. And I got a lot from it. And it was life changing and life saving for me. But understanding what being conscious is, listening to Gaia and listening to the power of eight and listening to who we are, and what we are and what we are capable of doing, and the human brain and the human heart. And we are all capable, each and every one of us. And I know this, and I know this so clearly, of being the best version of ourselves and the person that we're supposed to be. We came here with a purpose, each and every one of us. We came here with a purpose. And I know that my purpose is to help people. I know my purpose is to tell my story so that people that are suffering substance abuse, abusive relationships, very strained dynamic with a family member, going through these different things, struggling and suffering, because it's suffering. And I can say to them, listen, I know how you feel, because I feel it in my bones, in my soul. I've been there. And it took me my whole life to get here. So if sometimes I have a bad day like today, I have to give myself a little grace and understand and practice gratitude and think of gratitude and think of all the things. When my friend said to me that she's going through something where someone's having, a transplant of a liver, a kidney, and a heart, and I'm worrying about my teeth. And it really puts things in perspective. And I have to tell myself that, because I had some fear of finances because of the gambling that I did. And because after we lost my sister, there was some financial responsibilities that my mom and I had, and different things. I'm not gambling anymore. I will never gamble again. I will never, ever gamble again. So now I know that whatever money I'm going to spend on my teeth is well deserved and well earned. And everything in my life is balancing out. I'm a Libra. I seek balance. I want to get back like to almost to the beginning of who I am so that I can understand why this happened, what happened, how did I end up where I was? How did this happen? So that I can get well and really be well and understand I don't react like I used to. My mom and I had a situation last week where it got a little testy and I just took a drive. I just took a drive and the next day I was still pouting, but we spoke about it briefly, not in length like we normally do because it didn't warrant that, but it's an understanding of a different we both are different people. We both are different people every single day. Every single day, I want to be better than I was the day before. That's my goal until the end of my days. And may that be a long time, long time for both of us. I have books to write. I have TEDx talks to do. I have people to sit down and talk to and tell them when I was feeling after I stopped gambling, the lowest of the low in my life. I kept thinking about my sister and that I let her down. I kept thinking about my mom and I were not getting along. I kept thinking about my best friends who I wasn't close to because I had so much sickness going on and so much just, wanting to desperately to get well, either get well or end my life. Those were my options. That's how I felt. So I chose to get well and I work on it every single day of my life. Every day I wake up at between 6:30 and 6:45 because I have a particular little bird that runs up and down waiting for his popcorn. And I continue my day from that minute on doing things to heal myself physically and mentally until I go to sleep at night with my sleep ritual between 9:15 and 9:30. I make it a practice. I move every day. I I read or listen to videos every day. I pray every day. I sing every day. I, I do everything that I can so that I can, even the light behind me, the green, the northern light, whatever it is, it represents just the new space where I am, where I'm mentally and physically. This is the first time in my entire life that I think that I really have a normal relationship with food. And I really mean that. I feel it. I just feel different. I feel different. I'm not thinking about it all the time, obsessing about it all the time, trying to do something crazy. And the weight's coming off and it's just coming off, organically. And I don't like to set goals, but by my birthday, my teeth will be done, which is in like about 3.5 months. So I would like that all to coincide. That would be wonderful for no other reason, not to get a man, not to impress anybody, but so that I can heal, so that I can really heal. And the outside will match my inside of healing, of just being where where I need to be. And one of the things that they said in this beautiful video that I watched, and it was a video and it was literally called Find Yourself Again, and I just found it magically, is they spoke about talking the talk. And I think that's a big thing that my mom and I speak about. I don't want to be the chunky nutritionist. And I hate to say it like that, but I think everyone knows what I mean, where you're like, oh, I want to get some health advice, but she's not that healthy. And I think that I need to be in a space of I don't ever think we're completely healed or completely sealed but getting to the point where I can be authentic and talk the talk and say, I really want to help you. I want to help you so much. And I know exactly, not exactly, because no, you never know, but I've been in your shoes in this way. I've had this substance abuse. I've been in this relationship. I've been through this. I've been suffered grief to see my mom grieving and me grieving and to have friends of mine that have lost parents and have lost siblings and have lost being students of mine that are suffering such immense grief from losing a spouse of 50 something years. I feel every ounce of their pain, every single ounce of it. I feel it. So I know what it's like and I know we don't think we're ever going to recover ever, never. But I think the best way that we can recover and for me is to just honor her every single day of my life. Live a life that would have made her happy and proud. And I think that's what I'm doing. I think that's what my mom's doing. Becoming myself again. And I know if she was alive, I know she's with me anyway, she's still always with us. But I know that she would want the same thing to be able to really find herself like my mom and I are, find out, you know, get to the crux of everything. A lot of me finding myself again has been through Ageless Grace, this brilliant, brilliant program that I teach. And I'm going to do a little something called Express Yourself with everybody. I'm going to play a little music. Ageless Grace is the only program in the world that activates all five functions of our brain. And I'm going to do a little, funnily enough, the song is called Getting to Know You. You might recognize it, but I think we're going to do a little express ourselves. And I think we're going to have some fun with it because that's what Ageless Grace does. It activates our memory and recall and our beautiful imagination and creativity and all of these fun things. So, with that being said, we're going to do a little express yourself and we're going to do a little getting to know you, getting to know all about you. So, let's do it. And my cup of tea. So, getting to know you first, we're going to get to know, or let's get to know our smile, our beautiful smile. Beautiful smile, yes. Getting to know, look in the mirror and say, did I do something wonderful today? Did I help that guy at the grocery store? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did. Did I help pick up some trash outside the store? Did I write a check to St. Jude today? Getting to know, yes, let's write that check to the Wounded Warriors. Anything that means something to us. Think about all the changes. Getting to know me, getting to know all about me. Maybe we can see a friend coming by and we just want to make their day brighter, so we give them a big wink. Getting to know you and tell them all about yourself, all about things that have happened. Just say, this happened to me and now I want to help you. I'm getting to know me. I don't lie anymore. And sometimes I just have to zip it. I have to zip it. I just have to be quiet so that I can listen. Oh, I want to listen. I want to hear. I want to listen. I got to listen. And you got to put your ears out there so you can listen. And then sometimes we just have to tell ourselves, getting to know me, getting to know me, getting to know my heart, getting to know my heart, getting to take care of this whole beautiful gift, this beautiful gift that we've been given. Give ourselves a big, because we're getting to know ourselves. So we say, oh, I love you. And it's just expressing ourselves, which is one of the beautiful tools of Ageless Grace. And I'm blessed to teach these classes and to have this show thanks to Ageless Grace from Denise Medved, who invented it. And if anybody wants to join for a small fee, you get a complimentary class to start. And then Wednesdays at 11 a.m. and Sundays at noon, both Eastern time, you can reach out to my email, which is my name, Tracy Gelb with an E, TraceEygelb at hotmail.com. And I do believe that Ageless Grace has really helped me heal, is helping me heal, and is helping my brain because it activates all five functions of the brain. And my brain, when all of this had happened and I finally stopped gambling, my brain was really on overload and wasn't working the way it needed to work. And even if I did have a rough day today, I'm not going to say I didn't, but being able to do the show and feeling better, I'm feeling calmer. My mom said to me, "You're going to feel better after you do the show." I have a fabulous guest next week as well. And then the following week, I have two fabulous guests. So I'm going to leave everybody in suspense. And the support has been amazing. I'm so grateful. I'm going to be doing my first ever live Ageless Grace training in 2 weeks as well. So I have a lot of exciting things, and I'm more than grateful, so grateful, and I'm grateful to be getting to know myself, getting to know all about myself. I really, really am, and I'm digging it. So thank you all so much for always joining me. And like I said, the support has been amazing, and I hope to see everybody again soon.